and we are back with another episode of Next Gen Burnouts. It is episode number 8 now.
Nope, I gotta interrupt you. I think so. We had some technological issues. So it's episode 8 that we've recorded, but this is
Yes.
gonna be episode 5 that's on Apple. So what should we do
Yeah, I,
about
I I
this?
don't I don't go off that number. I go off of what we started posting on YouTube and everything. So
Okay,
this is episode number 8.
episode 5 on
And
Apple.
sure. And let
Okay.
me get to it. As you guys can hear, my co-host was chirping in over there. I'm Logan, you're my main host, and got Jordan Pennington, my co-host. Take it away, Jordan.
Yeah, I'm not sure what I'm taking away, but I'll just go ahead and get started as hosts do. But not a bad race over in Martinsville. Could have been a lot worse. I definitely have a little bone to pick with how my boys finished. As you know, I'm sure the followers know, as the Burnouts know, I uh, I picked pretty much an entire Stuart Haas lineup today for my locks, and it looked good. It looked not only
Did
good, it looked fantastic for about half the race. Obviously, I'm a Stuart Haas fan, regardless of the pick situation. So I was a little bummed out with how that finished. Priest, I'm going to get his name correct because I only butchered it
There
five
we
times
go.
last podcast.
Good start.
Uh,
Good start.
once I get it wrong, there's no going back. So if I mispronounce it, it's just gonna snowball. But no, Priest. Oh my goodness, dude, that had so much potential.
Yep.
He looked fast in qualifying. He looked fast in the race, and one mistake. That's NASCAR for you. Got that speeding penalty and just never recovered.
Yep.
What's your thoughts on the whole Priest situation?
No, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I kind of do like Priest now. Rookie going into the Cup Series and everything, and I think he's been racing really well. Got pole this weekend, and yeah, that whole first stage it was all Ryan Priest. But like you mentioned, one mistake, the speeding violation, yeah, that's gonna set you back, and it looks like he ended P15, which still not terrible, but should have been a much better day. And I think it's funny that you went big in Stuart Haas racing this week. You went Priest, Harvick, and Briscoe, but you forgot Almirola, who he did pretty damn good. He got P6 to
No,
do
no.
the race. So yeah.
I, I didn't forget Armarola. I just intentionally left him out. Out of all the Stuart Haas guys, I would say he's definitely the weakest link. Even though Priest is so far, they're pretty neck and neck. They're both uh, what's the term? Pulling up the rank. I don't know what term you want to use.
Yeah.
They're battling for the fourth spot on the team. But regardless of that. Uh, I know you mentioned just now too, Priest finished 15. He was after
Mhm.
the speeding penalty, he was all the way back. I want to say like
Yeah.
29th. I don't know
Hmm.
what his actual position was after the penalty. I want to say it was in the really low 20s. But coming back all the way to 15 just shows how fast that 41 was today.
Yeah.
And
No, it was
um,
looking really good.
that's a bummer. That's a missed opportunity. I wanted him to just lock in that W, get locked into the playoffs because, as you know, he's one of my 16, and yeah, he failed me. Which
Well, Kevin Harvick had it pretty rough today too. He was racing very well. Again, as we go to mention, he was the stage 2 winner, so he was having a great day. But if I'm not mistaken, what happened was he pitted, got some new tires, and then what they went flat instantly after he got him or something like
I,
that.
I don't think they went flat. From what I saw, is I think there was a lug nut that didn't get screwed
Oh,
on or tightened, and
okay.
something mechanically made the tire go flat, so he had to go in and pit. That pretty much just ended his day right then and there. I just
Yep.
looked, finished P20, which again, that's a bummer. He was on pace to score
Yeah.
another top five finish. So really disappointing. If you look at it, all year, Stuart Haas and I follow them pretty closely. All year, it's been pretty disappointing. Outside of Harvick, Harvick has been extremely consistent. Of
Yep.
course, he's the closer, but Everyone else on the team has been very, very inconsistent. Even Chase Briscoe, someone who uh, had a great year last year. I thought he could continue to build on that. It doesn't seem like he has so far, but this race obviously a little bit better. Finished P5, so
Yeah.
could be worse. But I just feel like today was a missed opportunity for that team. Completely. They looked fast. Martinsville's a small track.
Yep.
No, virtually no cautions. There was no big ones. There was no.
Yeah, no, I'm perfectly okay with the amount of cautions through at Martinsville today. It was a pretty clean race. I was really kind of hoping for a caution at the end because Martin Truex Jr. was really inching his way up, and all we needed was just one caution for a restart, and I really think he could have pulled that off, but obviously it didn't happen. He ended up P3 for the day, which is a fantastic finish for Martin Truex Jr., Joe Gibbs Racing, and Toyota as a whole. One thing I want to mention is it is absolutely crazy that Joey Logano ended P2 today. He had a terrible start. Terrible, terrible start. I don't know where he was on the pole, but at one point he was a lap down and he came all the way back and got P2. I think he might have been a part of the lucky people who decided not to pit. They had like 100 to 110 laps on their wheels. And then that caution came up. I forgot who triggered the caution, but then a lot of those drivers who decided not to pit and then were still on there, they got super lucky and they were able to pit because of the caution and stuff. I think he was one of them. Super lucky break for them. So I think that's what helped him get his way up to P2 to end the day.
Yeah, and that's weird. I actually didn't even realize had such a good finish. I remember it was probably middle of the race. It was after Priest got his speeding penalty, or it was around the middle of the race, and something happened, and someone was battling with him in like P15 or like P20, and
Mm,
I just totally thought, okay, Logano just, I'm not sure what's going on. I wasn't following it closely,
yeah,
but just chalking it up as just an off day or an off weekend, whatever the case may be. So, yeah, to
yeah.
see a P2, that's actually impressive. And I wanted to ask you really quick,
Mm,
because I know you're the Truex fan of the group here, which I don't mind Truex by any means, but I'm definitely not a huge fan like you are. So I saw during the middle of the race that he was having some major issues with his car. I don't know if you saw that
yep.
or not,
Hmm.
but he was down there as well. What was going on with that? Do you remember seeing that, or am I just crazy?
No, you were absolutely correct. My intel that I heard from his crew chief was he was saying that he was struggling throughout the race with keeping his wheels tight enough, I think, tight or loose, whatever the term is or whatever. So that's why he was getting kind of lapped and stuff like that. It was a wheel issue, but something happened and they were able to fix it. Because I think, if I'm not mistaken, he was on the pole and he was pretty high on the pole for the day, but it was just throughout the race that, yeah, he was having some issues. So they were able to overcome it and, a P3 finish. Can't complain about that.
Yeah, no, I was surprised. I saw that once you started mentioning it, and I was like, okay, that's I guess that's cool. Yeah,
Hmm.
so good
Yep.
for Martin. Good for Martin Truex. Seems like a very nice guy. So no issues with me there.
Yeah.
Uh,
Let's talk about that Kyle Larson and Joey Logano battle at the end of the race. What do you think of that?
I honestly am not surprised. I mean, once you look at those two guys, it's Larson and Logano. They're the two top of the sport. Um, I'm not gonna lie. At this rate, I didn't really want to see a Larson win today.
Oh,
I hate to say it.
no.
I was a little bummed, um, and I think it was just because I was so. What are you laughing about?
Oh no, I'm just completely with you too.
Okay.
I'm not even trying to be like that, but every time Kyle Larson wins a race, that's basically a dud race for me. I don't care who else wins a race besides maybe Chastain, but like when it's a Kyle Larson win, something about it just kind of I don't know ruins the mood. Kind of kind of puts a damper on my Sunday. I don't know if you feel the same way, but that's kind of how I feel. The three, excuse me, of the last three races, Kyle Larson has won two.
Yep. Who
Yep.
in last week? I'm literally spacing. Who was
Christopher Bell.
Christopher Bell? Okay, yep, dirt
Yep.
race. I don't know. I forgot that, but
Yep.
yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I saw him leading. I don't know what it was, 10 to go, 5 to
Yeah.
go, whatever it was, and I knew he started to separate, and I was like, oh man, this is just going to be another Larson W, which shouldn't be a surprise. He's a phenomenal driver, but at the same time, I wanted someone else. I'm sorry. I
Yeah.
wanted to see it. I saw Priest up there. I'm like, oh, dude, let's go. I saw
Yep.
Briscoe leading for a bit. I was like, okay. Um,
Yeah.
Hamlin was leading. Let's go. I was chill with that.
No, yeah.
Uh, and it is what it is, I guess. But
It simply is what it is. And now you can kind of see what I'm mentioning about how I kind of wanted a caution at the end to
yeah,
see, I don't know, could we get a Truex win, even a Hamlin? I'd be even okay, like what you mentioned with the Briscoe win. Like someone
yeah.
new. I'm sick of seeing William Byron
Oh my God.
and Kyle Larson and the Hendrick Motorsports team. You know, they're doing fantastic. This is a great year for them. But I don't know.
Yeah. Well, and speaking of Byron, not a very good day at all. Finished
No.
23rd. I didn't even catch that. I wonder
Hmm.
if all those I wonder if NASCAR is starting to lock down on that garage and they're not able to do whatever tricky or potentially illegal things anymore because
Well,
they
I
kind
mean,
of got
Larson ended still P1 today. So if you're talking
well.
about Hendrick Motorsports as a team, then yeah, no. They're,
I mean, I wasn't really referring to Larson. He's a man. He's a man amongst boys. I was more speaking on Byron, but uh, either way, I mean that's got to be noted. If you know having such a dominant year, they just handed out those penalties, and now he's finishing
yep.
23rd. I don't know. Maybe something to watch.
He's right up. Yep. I mean,
Moving.
God, that team is absolutely fantastic. Kyle Larson, Alex Bowman, Chase Elliott, and then William Byron. That's a fantastic team. All relatively pretty young too. They are going to be dominating the league for years to come.
Yeah, and speaking of, I think this is actually a good segue.
Mhm.
What do we think about Chase Elliott's return there? Any
So
any any thoughts on that? I don't know if you saw my poll that I
yeah,
threw up on
oh
the
yeah, yeah. Well, that's what I wanted to bring up is I saw you were the one who tweeted, "What do we think about Chase Elliott's return? Disappointed, looking rusty, or who cares? First race." There was no positive vote like, "Oh, good race" or anything
well,
like that.
I couldn't really. I was trying to think like how would I have worded like, oh, great race. Keep in mind you only have like 10 characters, so what would you have
Yeah, yeah.
put? What would you
Well,
have
I
put?
mean, I would have put an option for each, like good race, bad race, or meh. You had like
Oh,
basically like three negatives, and I'm not grilling you or anything, but I will say you tweeted
okay.
that like throughout the race, and that's when he like kind of wasn't doing that good and stuff. And that's why I texted you after the race. I'm like, yeah, dude, Chase Elliott ended P10. Like that pole's not holding up too well right now.
I Hey, like I said, I wanted to hear from the burnouts. I wanted to hear some
Yeah.
opinions, and
The
they let me
burnouts
know.
came out strong on that poll too.
They did. They're voting
They showed
heavy.
up.
They're
Yep.
voting heavy and fast. And hey, we love our fans. We just want to really engage with them, and we wanted to hear from them.
Yep.
How else are we supposed to hear from our fans if we don't throw a poll out every once in a while?
Dude,
Uh,
that's facts.
and to the point of the poll, if I would have voted, which I didn't, I kept it neutral. I would
Yep.
have said first race. Who cares? Are we really gonna sit here and talk like, oh, Chase Elliott, first race back? If he performed badly, it's gonna be some negative thing. He tore up his leg. You know what I mean? He was
Yeah.
out with a serious injury, and the track that he came back on isn't a super, how do I word this? I don't want to say forgiving track, but it's not a super like there's not moves to be made, if that makes
So
sense. Like
I would actually go off and say that is probably one of the most difficult tracks to come back on. That is a short track
what a
course. Yeah, and with a recovering from a broken leg, coming back at Martinsville, that is an extremely difficult task. So I'm not
I
gonna
agree.
lie, I did vote on that poll, and there wasn't really any positive things to like vote for. So I just put the who cares first race back. But I'm sorry, some guys this year haven't even gotten into the top 10, and Chase Elliott, boom, comes back, hits a P10. I think it was a fantastic return. I mean, Chase Elliott does what he does, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I will say I've grown into a little bit more of a Chase Elliott fan. I know when we first got into it, we thought we were all cool to hate on, the popular
Yeah,
driver. Oh, he's
yeah,
Chase Elliott. I've seen interviews, I've seen him talk, I've seen him race. He's
yeah.
never really stepped out of line. Um, I don't. There's no reason for me to dislike him.
No.
So I'm neutral when it comes. If I see a Chase Elliott win, I'm totally fine with it. He's one of the best drivers in the game, but. No, I'm glad he's back. I'm sure you've seen the talk on Twitter and all the social medias of NASCAR's ratings being a little bit down this year, which what else is new?
Yeah.
And so many people were attributing that to Chase Elliott being out, which don't get me wrong, I'm sure a small percentage of people decide to miss whatever races Elliott was out for because if he's your favorite driver and he's not driving, some people just tune out. Makes sense. But I'm
Yeah.
I'm curious to see the ratings from this race because I don't think that him being out obviously has that big of an effect that people like to claim. So I really want to see the ratings from this race versus last year and the last couple races and see how it stacks up because if obviously the ratings are phenomenal, then who knows? Maybe Elliott
Yeah.
has a little bit more pull than NASCAR wants to admit. But
I totally agree with you. I think that's really whack actually for like a fan to not watch NASCAR because one of your drivers is out. Like, I mean, I'm just thinking in my example, like say, my favorite driver, Martin Truex Jr., he's out or whatever. I'm still going to watch NASCAR. There's
there's
15 other drivers I love,
yeah,
like
yeah,
just because one racer's out, maybe those are kind of the fair weather fans, maybe. I don't know. Chase
fair.
Elliott probably has a decent amount of those. Not trying to catch a stray from the Chase Elliott fans, but
I
just
agree.
saying, we don't want to get into that territory or anything like
No,
that. But
definitely not.
going back to what you mentioned too about Chase Elliott, yeah, first year, I we thought we were cool, we didn't like him and stuff, but no, I've also heard a few interviews with him, and that guy seems so chill. Like
Yeah,
it's almost impossible not to like him. Now, I still do not feel that same way about Kyle Larson. There's really no particular reason why I should dislike Kyle Larson. I just simply do, and I'm pretty sure think you're on the same boat with that. I mean, he's great. I That's one thing I will not deny is his greatness. But dude, I can't stand watching him when it's not fun. But okay,
well,
I'm off my rant on him.
look, you don't like Kyle Larson. I don't like Brad Keselowski. It is what it is. We don't always have to dislike or. Love a driver. I'm sorry, Brad. He's just catching a stray. It is what it is.
Dude, you
It.
don't like Brad Keselowski? Dude, you're being fucking crazy. Was that a good time for that?
Not bad, not bad.
Okay, yeah. I
Yeah.
was waiting for that the whole time. You want to
So
give him an update?
yes, I was gonna say. So, throughout the first 8 or 7 episodes, we've been PG.
Yeah.
No longer. Sometimes we're gonna curse if a if you're under the age of 18, might not be the podcast for you. Uh,
Yeah.
but I don't think that we honestly are gonna curse too much. We're not,
No,
those
no.
type of people, but
We are gonna throw it in occasionally though
of
for the wow factor.
Of
Come
course.
on.
And also
Yeah.
if we're having a lively discussion and we drop an F-bomb, we drop something, it is what it is. We're all
Yeah.
adults
Get over
here.
it.
Get over it. We all like NASCAR and it's very simple. So,
You,
um
you know what? I want to bring up the. I'll just go off topic for a tad bit for a second, but I want to bring up why we decided to do this. It was actually after we were done recording last week. We were talking about Todd Gilligan. Gilligan. And Jordan was like, he's like, dude, fuck Todd Gilligan.
which if that would have been recorded, that would have been beautiful. But and
Oh, dude,
then,
that would have been an awesome blooper to Kevin.
oh yeah. Uh, but
Yeah.
yes. So after that, we agreed. Sometimes it just works. Okay, we're not gonna
So, can you contribute that Todd Gilligan, or whatever
yeah.
his name is, he was the primary factor as to why we decided to start cussing on our show?
Yeah, I don't give a fuck about Todd Gilligan. If I'm being honest, yeah, I mean, I don't even know who the guy is. What did he finish today? Now I have
Bro,
to
I'm not gonna
check.
lie. He like on the poll, he was like P5. Okay, he's P25 to finish, but like he started poll like P5, and it's gonna be hilarious when
He gets a
Todd
win.
Gilligan wins.
I just looked at his face for the first time, and yeah, I don't like the guy. Okay, I mean, I have nothing against him personally. It's just I
Bro,
don't
he's
know.
young too.
How old is he?
He he's 22 years old.
Who does he drives for Front Row Motorsports? I don't want to
I'm
sound ignorant here, but
I,
what team is this?
you're I don't know. You're bringing up the same thing. I think that might have been.
I'm gonna do just a quick.
No, he's for Rick Ware Racing, right? No,
No, it's Front
Front
Row
Row Motorsports,
Motorsports.
and he's the oh he races on two teams.
Oh, what? How does that work? Okay, that's. I guess I'm just confused. I don't. Again, I know we're gonna get roasted by the burnouts and potentially for good
Yeah,
reason, but
yeah.
I don't think I've ever heard of Front Row Motorsports. That is almost.
Did you look up who else drives for Front Row
I,
Motorsports?
I is it someone huge? I bet I'm about to try to
No,
look.
no,
Oh,
I
okay.
don't know. While
They're
Jordan's looking up
oh
the what who
Logan, listen
what
to this team. This team is stacked, bro. So they got Todd Gilliland,
yep.
Michael McDowell, and Zane Smith. Again, not
Low
trying to
key,
Michael
not
McDowell.
terrible.
Michael McDowell's not the worst, but Zane Smith.
Zane Smith, hey, do not disrespect him. He is the Truck Series champion of 2022,
Oh
and he
my!
raced today. His first time in the Cup
And
Series race today. I
that
mean, he
is
got
ins
P34, but yeah, he's in. He took over. What I was going to
nice.
mention is he took over the dude who's
Cody Ware.
yep, mm-hmm,
Wow.
yep,
Oh,
yeah.
cool. Actually, you know what?
So
That's
honestly, not that
dope.
bad.
Yeah,
Maybe
actually,
Todd Gilligan is the worst out of that whole group. I don't know,
I don't know. Maybe it's McDowell, dude. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of. I mean,
bro.
he
Michael
where did
McDowell is he's good. He
he?
was I had him as my dark horse P19.
He's not bad. Yeah, he's not bad. But yeah, Todd
Who
Gilliland
did
is.
he finish right above? That's weird.
Uh,
Michael McDowell, who did he finish right above?
okay. I mean,
Yeah.
Harvick only had 9 different issues he had to overcome today. It is what it is. I mean, I want to see a Harvick W so bad. Uh,
Dude, me too. Me
we were
too.
we were close to seeing one in Phoenix, and that would have been phenomenal. And we went. Uh,
Dude, that would have been so sick. The last race in Phoenix. Then who'd we end up seeing? William Byron?
Such a blue ball. Yeah, we saw. Yeah, we
Bro,
saw
that was
Byron.
bad. That was
We saw.
bad.
Hey, did NASCAR check Byron's vehicle? Did they go in and check? Because that might be a tainted W. Is all I'm
Bro,
gonna
I'm pretty
say.
sure that was what was led to it after that race. That's when the penalties started coming out after that
Wow,
race. So,
I had it. Wow. Okay, that makes sense. The timeline
yep,
matches up. So interesting.
yep.
Okay.
Is it time for the darts or duds
Let's
section
get
of our podcast?
let's get it out of the way. I like that
Okay,
too.
wait.
Darts or
I was just about to
duds?
say, I
I
just came up with that off the fly, and that sounded awesome.
I actually, yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
that's a
we're
good
going with
seg.
that.
And also too, just for the burnouts, we know there's a chance you don't give two shits about our picks. Okay, we
No,
understand
dude,
that.
I think the burnouts. We've been getting some really good feedback about the darts lately, and no, we're gonna continue doing this.
No,
It's only a couple minute section of our thing, but it gets the people going. The
you,
burnouts, I've gotten some really good reviews about it.
Well, you interrupted me before I could finish, but what I
Oh,
was gonna
sorry.
say is, no, it's all good. What I was gonna say is they might not care as much as we care because obviously you and I are competitive in our own right. So
Yeah.
we're not gonna make darts and duds into some 20-minute fiasco, but we will touch on it. We're gonna let it let the fans know how we did. Today looked promising for me. I thought I was
It,
gonna
very
throw.
good. You started off, yeah.
Okay, okay. I was gonna pull it up really quick. So actually, if you have it pulled up, you can go on
Okay,
yours.
I got mine.
Okay.
So, official with the name Darts and Duds. I threw three duds today. I went driver Tyler Reddick to start off the day. I'm also gonna every week to quote the tweet with the pole positionings and stuff, which you should start doing that for yours as well too.
We'll
I
see.
did it this week, but it makes it easy when we talk on the podcast. But yeah, so this week I took Tyler Reddick, ended with P22, then Daniel Suarez, P17, and then Kevin Harvick with a P20. So my top threes, the best I got was a P17, which is a certified dud. And then I did go Toyota for the manufacturer today, and the top placement was a P3 with Martin Truex Jr. So another dud. And then my dark horse, who Jordan was just talking shit about, Michael McDowell, P19. So Logan, there was not a dart found in sight, and it was just certified duds the whole day. But we'll be back better than ever next week.
I'm not gonna lie though, from the offset, when I looked at your, of course, I look at your picks before the race or as the race is going, if I
Yeah,
didn't see it
yeah,
before it starts. I thought those are some pretty solid picks. I didn't see any really
fair.
anything crazy going on there, but
Yeah,
in hindsight, it's always 2020, so I'll just jump into mine. Three duds, not surprising. My locks had so much potential, as I've said, but potential doesn't matter in the end of it. I went with Priest. We we discussed in detail the issues he faced today. Also had Harvick. Unfortunately, he had a major issue as well. Dropped him all the way to P20. And then kind of a hit, not the best by any means, but went with Chase Briscoe, ended up P5.
that's
Looked
not bad.
like really quick. This isn't on darts or duds, but Briscoe, we didn't even really touch on it. He led about 100 laps today, if I'm not mistaken, and he was looking good as well. I just think, can't overstate, my goodness, Stuart Haas, whatever they did this
I
week,
know. Yeah.
killed it. Those cars are fast, but I digress. Manufacturer went Ford. Main reason I did that, I literally chose the Stuart Haas boys as my
Zero
locks.
House Boys, yeah.
I'm gonna choose Ford for the manufacturer. And then I thought this one was just a no-brainer. When you can choose Chase Elliott as your dark horse, you choose Chase Elliott as your dark horse. I
Yeah,
think he
that's fair.
was P19 or P18. I don't know exactly where he qualified, but
On pole, yeah.
I decided to go ahead and choose him. And he performed well, but couldn't get that dub, which that elusive dark horse W would be fantastic. But um, yeah, that tweet blew up as well, had quite a bit of likes, all good. Don't need to get into it, but
Dude, we're
yeah,
getting some traction. The
yeah,
Burnout Boys, it's coming around.
we
We
got
have a
some
couple shticks
loyal.
going on right now with certified burnout. That is a thing we've developed. Darts and Duds just started today.
That's a
That
good
is a
one.
thing. Locked in. I'd like to trademark that as well too.
You
And
talk.
your name is Big J.
Yeah, I just decided, Big J is gonna throw out his picks today, and people will pick up on it. The
I'll
burnouts
say
are
I
smart.
only refer to you as Big J now.
Hey, that's how it is, and that's how it's gonna be. Whenever I guess one thing I will say is I wanted to differentiate when we both tweeted our picks. You know what I mean? I didn't want to
Oh
just
yeah.
say I could have, of course, just put my name, but at the same time, it's like, uh, you didn't have to call me out on the pod in front of the
No, no,
burnouts.
no, no. I was just making a point that that is your name. For the next gen burnouts is your Big J. I'm gonna
Yep.
stick with my government provided name of Logan, but
Your government
I
issued name.
digress.
It's all good. It's all good. Um, so yeah, another week of some duds. I don't know if you noticed either, but it was getting late. It
Mm.
was probably about 11 o'clock. I said, you know what? I saw qualifying went
So,
well. I just threw
yeah,
up my picks early. I'm just like,
you did it early.
hey, I'm gonna go ahead and throw them up. Well, threw them up early, but I threw them up late in terms of when I posted. But
Yeah.
um, yeah, I did. Were you gonna say something?
Nope, nope, go on.
I was just going to say really quick too, because I know obviously we're getting a little long in the tooth here with the time I just noticed, but uh, I like Martinsville. I know
Oh yeah.
we
Oh
don't,
yeah.
I know we're not, I'll speak for myself actually. I'm not by any means the biggest track expert. I don't know, how certain tracks race on certain periods, what tires are best on certain tracks. I'm not super technical when it comes to that. Um, I just know what my eyes see and how when I see a race on the calendar, how I am like, oh, I'm feeling it. Um,
Mhm.
like I love Bristol. I think Bristol's a
Yeah.
great. I'm a short track guy, I guess, because Bristol.
Yep.
Whenever I see that on the calendar, I think, oh, that's a race I want to watch. Same with Martinsville. I
Yeah.
don't I don't know if you agree or disagree, but I saw some people complaining about the race today, and I can't lie. I'm going to be optimistic this week. I like the race. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. No, I completely agree with you. As I was watching this, I'm like, you know what? I like stood up. I'm like, I like Martinsville.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stand up for Martinsville, and I like Martinsville. It was
Yeah.
no, a refreshing race. I really enjoyed it. I kind of like how some NASCAR tracks kind of have their I can't think of the word for it, but it's their like little thing they do. Like so for Martinsville, you get a grandfather clock at the end
Oh,
of the race.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, Sonoma, you pour wine on yourself. There's
Who
that
who
one
does the
way back.
lobster?
I was. That's what I was. That's so funny you said that. I was. Christopher Bell won it. I know last year. I'm trying. I can't think of what it is, but it's way back east. It's in Rhode Island, if I'm not mistaken. You might need to check that for me. But
Yeah,
I
I
like
am.
those kind of little things about it and stuff. It's kind of unfortunate Phoenix doesn't have one. I'd say the only real thing we have is that little cactus light for the checkered flag. That's. Have you ever noticed that?
It's New Hampshire, by the way.
Mm.
And no, I did not notice that. That wait, Cactus Light? Is that like in the midfield, I assume?
No, it's right by the starting. The start. There's a big green cactus light.
Wow, I've been to
Looks like a
Phoenix.
cactus.
I've been to
Yeah.
Phoenix Raceway more times than I can count, and I don't remember ever seeing that. uh,
Well, next time we go
I'll
in
have to.
November, we will when we go to the championship,
Oh
we
yeah,
will. Yeah. So
the Burnout Boys. We end up at the championship every year. It is what it
every
is.
year,
I
and this year we're probably getting an RV.
We'll
We
see
got to
about
do. We
that.
got to look into that. That would be so fun.
That'll be that's a discussion that'll need to be had. But
Yes. Yes. One last thing to kind of wrap up the podcast for today is just looking forward to next week. Do you know where we're racing next week, Jordan?
um,
The big one.
oh, is this? Wait, are you talking?
The biggie.
Oh, no way. I think I know.
No.
I don't want to say it because I don't want to look
Starts
like.
with the T.
Oh, we going to Talladega?
We're going to
Nice.
Dega, baby.
Let's fucking
Yeah.
go. Okay, cool, cool. What time does that start at? I don't know where my.
It's gonna be a nice noon.
I didn't know if that was going to be a little bit later in the day. Okay,
Just midday Talladega race. I am stoked for that
that's
one.
awesome.
That obviously is a race that yeah, I'm gonna put down. And then sorry, just looking way ahead, but the
Yeah,
following week is Dover.
I
And
like
I'm a
Dover.
huge fan of Dover
Yeah,
too.
I like Dover. Like, there's nothing
I
wrong
love
with it.
Dover.
Um, I like Sonoma. That's
Oh,
another one. I'm not.
that is my favorite course.
Yep,
Sonoma is out of all of them, easily my favorite is Sonoma.
yep. I
I
like
would kill to
Richmond.
go to a race there.
I like
Richmond's
Rich.
sick.
We're just throwing out. I'm just looking ahead like you did. I don't know why, but uh, yeah. So there's definitely some that I'm interested in. Definitely going to be peeping. I'm gonna.
Kansas, I'm not wildly excited about Kansas, and I don't want to catch a stray from any of the Kansas fans or whatever, but that one has always been kind of a meh racetrack. But we'll see. Maybe I could be proven wrong and we could have a fantastic race. I don't know, but
You,
I'd say that's probably good enough for this week. Would you say, Jordan?
Yeah, and
Big J?
I actually just wanted to say one thing really quick, just because we're talking about race tracks that we enjoy and don't enjoy.
Yeah.
And this one's going to be kind of sacrilegious considering it's the one we go to so often. I'm not the
Yeah.
biggest Phoenix Raceway fan. I hate to say it.
I'm not
Like
gonna lie, it's very average at
it's
best.
the I've gone to so many races, just I can't even count. Um,
Yeah.
but I've been to so many, and it usually is not the best race. It's unfortunate too because obviously tickets aren't cheap. But yeah, I just had to throw that in there. We were saying the ones we
Well,
loved, and
okay, well, we can actually say because we've been to two stadiums, race stadiums. We've been to Phoenix and Las Vegas. And I will say, between both of them, the stadium itself and stuff, the Phoenix Stadium is very nice.
yes, I was talking about on the
Yeah, yeah,
actual.
yeah, the course
Yes,
itself, but the
yes,
stadium itself is very nice. I was not wildly impressed with Las Vegas's stadium.
I agree.
I wasn't. It was kind of an annoying drive out there too. It was like 20 minutes off the strip. Like,
It
I don't know. I guess I don't know. Maybe I'm just complaining or whatever.
Now the way the way it was
And getting out of
situated.
there was awful too.
I was literally just gonna say,
Yeah,
literally the traffic out of there, which I'm sure you can say that for 1,000 different, tracks or
but it
stadiums.
was practically impossible at Las Vegas when you
Yeah.
did not drive there and we tried getting an Uber out. It was a nightmare.
And I just also want to say too, because obviously getting an Uber out of any stadium is ridiculous, but we didn't
Yeah.
just get it right out of the stadium. We walked about a solid mile and a half up to a gas station to alleviate some of the pressure, and it still just ended up being an
And
absolute
Jordan,
clown show.
I don't,
So
I don't know if you remember, we left early too.
yeah, we
We
did.
heard Joey Logano win the fireworks and stuff. We were already at the gas station by that point.
Yeah,
And
we
then they're saying $70, whatever. It was, dude, that was a nightmare. That was
yeah.
probably one of the worst experiences I've had.
Yeah, no need to mention that we left a few laps early, not trying to kill our credibility here, but yes, we did try to beat
We
traffic.
had to.
We were violently hungover. I don't know if that's
Yeah.
worth saying,
No.
but yeah, let's just say we were in Vegas and we were a little hungover, and it was a I don't want to say miserable because it might make us look bad, but I was sunburnt.
Yeah,
I
it was
thought
bad.
it was not a good situation, and we can leave it there.
Well, one thing to add to that too is we brought our buddy who's never gone to a NASCAR race, and
Yeah.
lap one, a rock came flying through the gate and skimmed my buddy in the hand and broke skin, and he started bleeding. That
Uh,
was very funny.
it was fitting, his first ever race, and he ends up getting a rock on lap
Gets
one.
hit by
So,
a projectile.
yep. And hey, that's how it goes sometimes. And you go to a NASCAR race, you got to be prepared. And
You ready? Yeah.
but that's all I wanted to add. I know we're
Yep.
coming up on our time here, so
Yep, you're all good. I think that was a good episode. Really looking forward to Talladega next weekend.
yep,
So, Burnouts, thank you again. You guys are the best fan base. We can't wait for next week.
yes, sir. Hopefully we can break
All right.
down Dega. Let's get it.
Yes, sir. Have a good weekend, Burnouts. We'll see you soon.